Hi guys. We decided to leave the hospital. I'm going to tell you why. Andrew was diagnosed as having mild COVID while we were there with him. And he was kept in the ER there for almost 24 hours. They didn't have a room available or anything. And during that whole time, he was there, and Christopher and I were there. And the whole time, you figure you're being held in a small room, and you're exposed to this like you had been before, because you live in the same household with him, but you're stuck in the same room for almost 24/7. And then they're deciding to move you to a room finally, or Andrew to a room finally. And Andrew is nonverbal and is considered a vulnerable adult. He can't tell us anything or tell anybody anything about stuff. He laughs and vocalizes and stuff, but he couldn't tell us if somebody was doing anything to him. And so when we get up to the room, they tell us that we can't stay. They don't want us to stay with them. And I says, just wait a minute. I'm his legal guardian, and he's a nonverbal, vulnerable adult. Well, they thought about it for probably like a good hour, and they come back in, and they had some hospital administrator who, wanted to ask me why I felt the way I did and all that. And I said, well, the other thing is you kept us all in this room for 24 hours almost, and we've been exposed to this now, so, we probably have it or whatever. But anyway, the thing is that, now you just say, go on home, like, what's the big deal? We're being held in another room here. This is just another room where, it's a lot bigger than the ER room was. And there's a table and like a kind of a chaise lounge thing in here, and a couple of other chairs, and a private bathroom and all this stuff. And now you're telling us that because it's COVID, which, like I said, again, we were in the same room for 24 hours almost. Now we're supposed to go home, or one person could stay, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how you guys think about it. But anyway, I said, well, how long do you think he's going to be here? Look at him. Look at him right now. Does it look like anything's really major wrong? If he gets worked up, he'll sort of send himself into a little tizzy where he starts breathing heavily and all this stuff, and he's kind of always done that. So I'm not even sure if he really has this or not, or if they just wanted to get him in the hospital. I don't know. I'm so suspicious about things sometimes, guys. But so anyway, I said, and then you've come close to making mistakes giving him medications here. They were going to give him, he uses a medication called Nystatin, which is like a mouth rinse. If somebody has thrush in their mouth, and we have it on as like a PRN, which is as needed basis, because sometimes if he eats a little too much sugar or something like that, he might have that happen, So anyway, but not very often, but still we like to have it on hand. They were going to give him this medication through his G-tube. He has a G-tube that he gets his formula feeding through. And I haven't even looked it up yet, but I'm going to look it up online. What the heck could that have done to him? It's a mouth antibiotic, like. I don't know, And then they were going to give him insulin. Well, the thing is that before we had brought him in, he has this little puffer thing, and I'll show you. It's a little puffer thing, with albuterol in it. And so anyway, when you take those puffers, your sugar level will rise because of that. And I thought, these people are supposed to be medical professionals and they can't even figure out that that would cause that? That's disturbing.
Yeah.
And I don't want them giving my kid something he really doesn't need. And so anyway, after a few hours had gone by, they saw that the glucose level had lowered to normal. And I thought, gosh, this is just like unbelievable what they're doing here. And imagine if you weren't there to catch those types of things and mistakes that were almost going to be made. And he can't tell you, And then they had told us before they had admitted us that, they were going to possibly be putting him on an antiviral, and they wanted to give him a steroid while he was in there. And they hadn't really done either. They had tripled his dose of hydrocortisone, which his endocrinologist would have said that's the right thing to do. But, it's like, why are we here if you're not really doing the things that you told us you were going to do before we agreed to let him be admitted? And then they says, well, you can take Christopher home and come back. And when this other guy had come in, he's like I don't know if he was like a chief of staff or I don't know what he really was, but he was some head honcho doctor that come in there that was a really angry guy who was kind of just nasty. And I thought, God, is he a mean-spirited person? But anyway, he right away, just because Christopher is charging his cell phone, he accuses Christopher of trying to videotape the conversation we were having. And I thought, man, is this guy paranoid, So anyway, he says, oh, you really need to leave him in the hospital here and just go on home and let the nurse take care of him. And I thought, no way, dude. No way am I doing that to him. Because I'll tell you why. We have a neighbor who went to our church.
I'll explain that.
And Chris will tell you a little bit more about him. But anyway, Chris, I'm not done yet, so don't interrupt me right yet. This fella's wife, first his wife's mother had gotten sick with COVID, and this was right around the holidays. And she had gotten sick with it, went in the hospital. Guess what? They put her on a ventilator, and what happened? She was dead a few days later. The daughter, Bruce's wife, caught it from her mother, and guess what? Put her in the hospital. Wouldn't let nobody come see her or anything either. And guess what? Talked her into signing documents to put a ventilator on. And guess what happened? Within 3 days, she was dead. Now, you figure that out. Now, do you think for 5 minutes that they would have left me seriously come back into that hospital once I left? I highly doubt it. Especially when he said, you just go on home and let the nurses handle things. You know what? I think that we rescued Andy's life tonight by getting him the hell out of that place. And I don't think I would ever even go back there. But I'm going to let you have a shout out to Chris here real quick. I don't have more than a minute and a half, Chris, so you can talk real quick.
I would say the last 26 hours of our lives has been easily one of the most tiresome, stressful, and absolutely crazy that we've ever lived through. And I mean every word of that.
Yeah. I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there, and then, they tell you, well, you're leaving against medical advice or whatever, and you might be responsible for this hospital bill. You know what? I don't give a damn. I honestly don't give a damn. I'll gladly pay that bill. My son's home now, and he has to go to the bathroom, and they didn't want to give him his little Pedialyte vials, his liquid glycerin to go potty either, and had left him sit in soiled pants almost all day long there until we finally spoke up and said something to him. We wanted to see how long they were going to let him sit there, So anyway, we were going to have him do that now. He had gotten home, and he's much happier home, but like I said, he does get worked up about, things going on and stuff, and he knows we're talking about the hospital, and it's just making him nervous, but I'm just glad we got him out of there, guys. I seriously am. Seriously am. And that's all we have to say. We just want to let everybody know we're back home. We'll keep you posted.